All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm here today. This is Todd Jones, President of Retail Mortgage for BBMC. And today I'm honored to have Lisa Anastasi, the Chief Development Officer for USO Inc. National, on here live with us. How are you doing today, Lisa?
I'm great. Thanks, Todd. Thanks for having me today.
It's our absolute pleasure. Are you joining us from DC, or are you somewhere else in the world today?
I am. I'm in Arlington, Virginia, just outside of Washington, D.C., getting ready for Veterans Day this week, which, as you know, is a big day for us and also a lot of you out there listening today.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again for taking the time. This is a well, we used to call them Google Hangouts, but this is now a YouTube live broadcast, and this is a part of our Patriot Share initiative. We are trying to bring awareness to our key partners and the good works they do for our military servicemen and women, and their families, and the connection that they provide for them across for our nation and for these individuals while they serve away and at home.
Yeah.
And in honor of Veterans Day, this is part of a series that we're trying to promote. And so Lisa's been, taking time out of her day to be here with us, and we can't thank her. Lisa, just kind of jump into it. I want to spend most of the time with you talking to me, just a little bit about what is the mission of the USO?
Sure. So the mission of the USO is to connect family, home, and country throughout their time. For some people, that can mean a phone call back home when you're in places like Baghdad or Djibouti. For others, it's reading a book to their kids, and then sometimes helping people witness the birth of their children via Skype, like we're doing right now.
Wow.
So, the mission of connection can really come through in a lot of different ways, but at the end of the day, that's what we do. We keep people connected during their time in service.
That's outstanding. Did you mention Djibouti?
I mentioned Djibouti. I did.
Where is the USO in the world? Where all is it?
Sure. So we're in 180 locations around the world. In Djibouti, also in places like Incirlik, Turkey, which we just opened 3 months ago. 80 miles outside of the Syrian border. We have 4,000 troops there. We're everywhere. Literally, if the troops are there, we're there too. In fact, we still have 8 locations in Iraq, and a lot of people don't even realize that the USO is pretty much the only game in town there.
My goodness.
Yeah.
8 locations in Iraq. So it's got to be, I can't even understand, or I can't begin to imagine the administrative detail and concept that goes into spreading across. I mean, it's particularly with the pace that our military moves today. I mean, it's got to be an enormous logistic undertaking for the USO.
Todd, but you know what's really interesting about it is that we're able to do it very low and low staff. Incredible volunteer network. We have 30,000 volunteers all around the world, which enables us to keep a lot of these USO locations open with just a few staff members. So for example, USO DFW, 800,000 people will go through those doors this year alone. It's open 24/7. We only have 2 paid staffers that stay there. But as far as and the logistics, thank goodness we have great military people both for us and working with us to help us execute that. Also fortunate because the military can donate either the space or we're able to get it rent free.
Well, that's amazing. The cost structure is crazy, but 2 people servicing 800,000 people. That's amazing. The volunteers are, I assume, the heart and blood of the organization. But you guys have been doing this forever. I mean, I see behind you on your board there, 75 years anniversary. I mean, can you tell us a little bit about what that means to you and what you guys have done to celebrate?
Sure. So it's pretty incredible, right? How many organizations say they've been around 75 years? I think a lot of people don't realize we were actually started before World War II. President Roosevelt realized early on, after World War I, that one of the key things our military members needed to stay strong during a time of war was being connected back to their families and to their country. So he established the USO. He said, not by machines alone will we win this war. And that's what the USO became, a source of strength and hope and comfort, especially during times of war. So 75 years later, we're doing the exact same thing. We're just doing it a little differently with computers and technology as opposed to Coke cans and letters home. But basically, it's the same mission, just in a different way.
Wow, that's amazing. I don't want to talk too much. This is really for you, but I served my history, and I do have to say that the connection that the USO that you guys provided to us it meant the world to me, particularly around the holiday seasons, and we didn't have the ability to buy internet tickets or to get anywhere, so they just drop us off in like Philly, and we had to get wherever we were going from there, and we could do all that coordination from the USO. So it was really, really impactful for me, and for you guys to have done this through World War II and through all this in current day, the deployments and all the different places these young men and women are going. It's amazing that you guys can get there as aggressively and as efficiently as you can. So thank you again.
Todd. Thank you, of course, for your service, and thank you. I know many of the people watching us today have served their countries and continue to do so. I think, when you're in the holiday season, that one in particular, big time for us, the Holidays for Heroes program, and we'll be deploying it now through the end of the season, desperately trying to give them just a little bit of holiday cheer while they're overseas. I think the other thing that a lot of people forget, I know you all understand this because you work so closely with the military, but you're talking about 3-4 deployments now. It's a completely different time. I mean, many of these men and women have never really had a Christmas with their families. And that's pretty tough. I think the idea that you would miss Christmas with your kids, I mean, that's kind of the most cherished family memories everyone has. So if we can help them be there through technology, it's not the same, but it is certainly better than nothing. And then if we can give them a home-cooked meal on Thanksgiving Day with entertainment and with music and often bringing in military and other celebrities, it's just our way of saying we have not forgotten you. I know this is a special day. You are still special. Just because you're not at home doesn't mean you're forgotten.
That's amazing. It's so powerful. So for those, for those on here to who will listen later as we kind of promote it over the internet, is there anything we as can do to help support that for Heroes, or is there any other campaign that we should understand and maybe we can help out in another way?
Yeah, we really appreciate it. First of all, we have our campaign to connect, which you can go online and send a message to a service member. And I highly encourage you to do that today, especially during the holidays. Wish them some holiday cheer. Remind them that you appreciate them, that you have not forgotten about them. Our goal is to get 1 million messages to servicemen and women around the world before the end of the year. We're close. We're at 700,000, but we could use your help, so that'd be one way. We also have a Holidays for Heroes campaign going on online that you can check out as well. And that's our opportunity to send everything from toiletries and food and snacks to holiday boxes of cheer. So it's like Christmas shows up on your doorstep with Christmas trees and Santa hats and Christmas music. So you can find out more about that online as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So a couple things. I know you guys have changed a lot. I don't know if it's every year you kind of come out with a new motto, but I heard when we were in DC and I got an opportunity to meet with you and some of your key individuals, this concept of the force behind the force. I think it's really meaningful, but what does that mean from the USO's perspective, and what is it that you're trying to portray there?
Sure. What's really interesting about the force behind the forces, so we found this. We have a great historical archive. That's what you get for 75 years, right? And we're going back through all of these wonderful letters and memories from years past. And one of the 4 charities you called, and I immediately heard that and said, that's it. That's what we are. But what I really like about it is, yes, the USO is the force behind the forces. We enable them to go out there and do incredible, extraordinary things we'll never understand. But also their families are the force behind the forces. You who support them, are the force behind the forces. Our donors, our supporters. When you send a message of campaign support to them across the world, you are the force behind the forces. So what I loved about it is, yes, it's us, the USO, but it's so much more. It's the collective whole and how we support out there defending our country every single day.
Wow. Again, I don't want to talk too much, but it's so. Sometimes I've talked to my family so much recently about the USO, and some people just don't really. You get the concerts, you get the comedians, you understand that portion of it, but I don't think they really get that. The military's wonderful at fighting wars, but they're not necessarily the softest, most touchy-feely folks in the entire world when it comes to caring about how you feel, and so you just can't leave somebody in a vacuum for 17 years of just pure war fight, or 17 months for pure war fighting, and not some comfort from home. And so yeah, it is the force behind the force. Without that connection, without that giving, they can't do their jobs. They're going to break down. It's just not going to work the same way. So I think it's really insightful, and it's a great cause. Is there a specific campaign tied to that, or is that just is there anything that goes along with force behind the force, or is that just to better define the American people?
Created establishing or renovating 37 USO centers around the world. We have a $7.5 million campaign goal. We get $5 million every year, and then also improve, like I said, improve or change $2 million through these services. So those are in places, like I mentioned, Turkey, where we've opened. It's at Kuwait, Guam, Okinawa, also here in the States, Alaska. A lot of people forget that some of our stateside installations are very difficult. Alaska, in fact, sometimes you can't even get to the USO center, depending on weather. So people are isolated in all sorts of ways, even when they're not overseas. So that's part of what we wanted this campaign to help connect.
As far as the core of the USO, can you talk about that at all?
Sure. So it was a strategic change that our CEO made several years ago, and I think it was so spot on for him to recognize the area that the USO wasn't in at that point, and that was the transition services for our troops and their families. And you know what's interesting to me is that 1.4 million active duty, right? That's what we're good. But that are transferring out every year. That's a lot of people to take care of as well. And we were basically helping them right up to the end. And then they left, and we weren't with them anymore. But if we're always by their side, then we need to be by them when they're transitioning out as well. So now we have employee services, family support programs, a whole host of programs and ways we can help through these USO transition sites all around the country. Our service members as they transition out. 5 years later, same mission, new creative and innovative ways to handle that mission.
Yeah.
Just part of what it works. It's the same thing. We're still keeping them connected. We're just helping them when they come back.
That's amazing, and that gives me. I mean, I just to comment on that. I that the transition time frame for our veterans come back. It's such a and I know that trying to use our words differently. Kind of the civilian military gap or divide, or there's just a different training for these folks, a different team orientation. They don't necessarily veterans come in. They have to learn a whole new a way of interacting with a new social norm that's just they're not used to, and to see the USO step into that.
It's called USO Transition 360, and that's our transition programs. You can learn more about that, and also if you are ever interested in volunteering for part of those programs, we have volunteer opportunities as well. Todd, I really appreciate what you were saying, that that transition time is so difficult for so many of our troops and their families, and we're teaching them a new language. Well, we also have to be teaching our companies new language. We have to create vet-ready companies that understand the tremendous value that our provides, but also how to communicate with them. We're also doing some employment and also training.
How to do that. We can also point you in directions to help find USO facilities and
single year. What just warms my heart about that more than anything is that these are $10 and $15 donations. These are people who write us and tell us, I'm giving you the only dollars I have this month, and it will be $9 that they didn't spend on gas. I mean, it is truly America's way of expressing gratitude.
We work with in transition.
Build them up faster than anything else can. So, for example, we have partnered with Hire Heroes USA, which some of you all may be familiar with, and they are very, very focused in their employment efforts. They'll help you with resume building, mock interviews, networking, how to build a LinkedIn profile. So we take their programs and we put them at our USO centers all around the world and here in America. So that's one area. Another area that we work on is everything from housing to education.
Access to different industries, right? To get a training program through those industries, and then they'll have multiple opportunities, right?
Right, multiple opportunities, but also how do we prepare you for those opportunities? Because what we were seeing is you would take these great veterans to a job fair or an opportunity to meet with an employer, but you hadn't talked to them about what should your resume look like, what should you focus on, what questions should you ask, do you have a LinkedIn profile? I mean, that's what most employers expect to have. So we prepare them before we even take them to meet with the employer so that they have a better chance of finding a job. The second thing we do at our USO transition centers is we ask them about other areas as well. Have you applied for VA benefits? Do you need more education? Do you have debt that we can help you restructure or put you in touch with people who can help you? Transition is a holistic problem and needs a holistic approach. Our concern was that a lot of organizations were just talking to veterans about employment and hiring. Everybody knows a job matters, but if you're miserable at home and about to be evicted, a good job isn't going to fix that. So we're really looking at the full spectrum of issues and helping each veteran individually instead of just a one-size-fits-all approach.
That's amazing. And you know, the scale of the organization, the USO, your reach and the loans, and really the fit so uniquely outfitted and capable of providing that type of holistic service to these young men and women that it's just great to see. Does that, maybe I should put it as a question, does that differentiate the USO with Transition 360 from other potential transition services that exist out there today? In your mind?
Yes. Yeah, we believe it does. In fact, that's why we created it. When we started 3 years ago looking at the transition space, we didn't want to do what everyone else was already doing. We didn't need to recreate the wheel. So we said, what do we do that no one else can do? 180 locations around the world, scope and scale unlike anyone else, a trust and a relationship with the DoD. We took partners in industry who were already doing a good job, took their programs, folded them into the USO, and now are spreading them across. So let me give you an example. RP6, which is a great nonprofit, we recently have brought them in-house and are doing their programs from the USO centers all around the world. They were a fantastic operation in Washington, serving several thousand, I think a height 10,000 people a year. Next year, we're going to be able to serve 50,000 people simply by taking their programs and putting them in USO locations. The other thing is our service members are just more likely to come to the program if it has to do with the USO. We can start talking to them when they come to get coffee, when they come to our movie nights, when we feed them lunch. When we say things like, hey, did you know the USO has a transition program? This might be 2 years before they're even getting out. But they're thinking about it earlier. They're talking to us about it earlier. It's just a different relationship that we have with them. And as such, I think we can make a bigger and better impact.
You can accomplish by in the synergies that you get from your resources and the facilities and the brand, with a well thought out concept. It makes perfect sense. And not just, from a businessman's perspective, I understand how powerful that scale and those synergies could be, and to see it taking place for the benefit of our veterans, it warms my heart. And I think it's innovative, and I think it's the type of thing that is so badly needed, particularly in this day and age. The challenges have just become incredible, mostly because of the tempo and just the strange enemies that we kind of have out there. But thank you so much for leading in that. And if there's anything else we could do to help, I absolutely want to do that. We're coming into Veterans Day. Our purpose for doing these Google Hangouts, Lisa, and having you on here so we could tell the stories of the organizations that are truly making a difference for our veterans. And I'm proud to support you guys at the USO. We'll do anything we can to further your cause. And if there's anything else that we could do, just please let us know. And thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Todd, and thank you all so much for your support, not just of the USO, but of our troops and their families. And when you said you were doing these to help people understand that they're making a difference,
yeah.
I am here today to tell you are making a tremendous difference. When I talk to service members, when I see the tears in their eyes and they tell me about we're gonna help 50,000 transition service members next year, I can tell you how many jobs we get, but we have an immeasurable impact. Because how in the world do you add value being able to talk to your kids on Christmas Day from Baghdad?
Oh.
There's no number, there's no pie chart, there's no graph I can ever give you that will show you the impact of your dollars. All I can do is tell you that they are heartfelt about that.
Well, we're proud that we can have a small part in helping you guys do that. And we're proud of you and the USO and the work that all of the volunteers are doing. So thank you. And we're proud of our veterans and our military men and women. So thank you so much. Is there any last statement?
Very well spent. We have low low overhead. We work hard for our dollars. I think just continue to support the troops and their families. I hope you'll do it through the USO, but the most important for us is that you continue to support them and to remember how grateful we are for the freedom we have.
All right, well, we'll do that, and my family and I are going to do that for sure. Hopefully everybody's listening to this will as well. And so you go right on the USO.org page, and that's the directors listening. I want that put up on my BBMC campaign. It might be up there, and we're going to make sure we get those messages out there. And let's, for some stocking stuffers, maybe we give little cards that say, "Hey, we donated $20 to the USO in your name." Merry Christmas. So
you can do gifts in memory of, in honor of, something special for Christmas. So.
Well, amen. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time today. I know you're a busy woman, and God bless the USO, and God bless our veterans out there, our military men and women who are serving us right now. So have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon, Lisa.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.